Capsule CRM is an absolutely brilliant CRM. When it's set up properly, it will help you be more productive. It will help you be more efficient. It will help reduce overwhelm. And when you do all of those things, you will have more headspace to be creative. And as a business owner, we all need to be creative. We wear many different hats, don't we? And a lot of what we do is being creative and getting around challenges. And we value having time and headspace to do that. We also want to convert as many leads as possible, and we want to look after our clients in the best way possible so that we get maybe referrals from them, so maybe they come back for more work, but we realize the lifetime value of working with that client. And Capsule can do all of that for you if it's set up properly. And in this video, we're going to look at how to set up the data bank so that it really supports you in the way that you need to be supported. So let's dive into the system and have a look at how to set that data bank up for you. So here we are in a brand new Capsule, and there are three main areas of Capsule. The first is people and organizations, where we look after everybody. The second is the sales pipeline, where we manage the conversations that we're having with people about doing some work with them. And the third main area is projects area, where we can actually manage what we deliver to our clients. So really powerful CRM that's absolutely brilliant. And the way to make it brilliant is to think about who your ideal client is and think about what you want to get out of the system. Because when you do that, then you design it and create it and build it in a way that's going to work for you. Here we are in Capsule. And let's just imagine that we're running a business called Citrus Lemon. It has three different service offerings, and the ideal client is a business owner who wants to save time, be more productive, and have a better team working around them, more transparency, more cohesion as a team. So we, as Citrus Lemon, offer that business owner three different services to help them do that within their own business. So what we want to do first of all is create some tags, data tags, and custom fields. So we go to our name top right, we go to account settings, and we go to tags and data tags. Now we can have tags and data tags on people and organizations and on opportunities and on projects, and they are different. So we would have the tags on people and organizations that reflect where the organization and the person is in the customer journey. So we'd add the tag, first of all, prospects. This is a really good one to add. We would then also add client potential, because these guys have an opportunity created so that we can manage the sales conversation. And then they hopefully convert to becoming an actual client. And then we'd create a project in the projects area to manage what we're delivering. And then that work would come to an end, and then they would become a previous client. So I can't type. And if we make a mistake, we can just click back in there and just correct that and press save. So we have some people that aren't going to work with us. Unfortunately, that always happens. And we would tag them as client potential previously. Now, we also have people who we interact with day to day or week by week or every month or so that don't fall into one of those groups. So maybe we have networking contacts. So networking contact, maybe we have suppliers. It's really good to have everybody in this system because then it really does support our entire business. So maybe we have our partners in here as well. And maybe we have associates. So what we can do is we can actually change some of these into data tags, and that gives us the ability to capture an extra level of data, but only around the person that is tagged with that data tag. We want to record what type of service a client has received. So we'd click on Convert to Data Tag. It takes us straight into the client data tag. We'd add the custom field, and this would be a good multi-select custom field, and it would be which service. So we could have this on people and organizations. We could have it as important if we wanted to. This feature is available in the growth plan. So the list items would be the service A, service B, service C. And because it's multi-select, then some clients are maybe having one or more, and then we have the ability to capture that. We might add in date service delivered. A good example of a data tag might be associates. So we convert associates to a data tag. We add the custom field. Maybe This could be a free text, and it could be associates specialism. And then we could type in the specialism. We might just have that for people and would always make it searchable. Another good example of a data tag would be client potential. So we could convert this to a data tag. We could add the checkbox opportunity created. This would then prompt us to create an opportunity if we have tagged a person or an organization as a potential client. And we click on save. So let's just show you how that works in practice. So let's add a person. Let's add Joe Blogs, be limited, and we could add a tag here if we wanted to. I'm going to show you how to add it after a record's been created. We could add the phone number, we have the email address, any websites, etc., and we click on save. And we can even create JB Limited as an organization at the same time. So we then click on add tags, and Joe would start off as a prospect, then send some marketing. We would be in contact in some way. We could even add a track which would give us a series of tasks to nurture that contact up until the point where they show themselves to be interested in working with us. Because at that point, we'd create an opportunity. And at that point, we would remove prospect and we would add client potential. Client potential is a data tag. So up pops another screen saying opportunity created. We say, yeah, we've done that, and then click on save. And then we would manage that sales conversation, and then hopefully they turn into a client, and we would be able to capture which service Joe had received. And even when Joe then goes on to become a previous client and client tag is removed, that information is still there, which is brilliant because it means we can filter on it. So they are tags and data tags, but we might want to add some custom fields in as well. So a good example of a custom field for an organization would be industry. So we would have a single select list because organizations tend to only be in one type of industry. We would type in industry and we would then put in the particular types of industry. So maybe pharma, manufacturing, auto, or consulting, because we might only want to work with organizations that are in the consulting area, but it doesn't mean to say that we're not going to come into contact with other organizations that are in different industries. And so we would be able to draw down into our data and see which industries our clients are in. Perhaps if we're just starting out as a business and we've got work coming from different places and different contacts, then that would be really, really useful thing to have. And a good example of a custom field for a person could be a checkbox, and it could be something like main stakeholder or main contact. And that would be for a person. We'd press save. Another checkbox could be whether they are a business owner, and that would just be for people. Good example of a custom field for both could be a free text field or a single select list, which would be source of contact. And we could have this for people and organizations because sometimes we are introduced to an organization and not necessarily to a particular person. And we could have a list here. So lists are much easier to drill down into and to analyze the data through. So a good example would be a source of contact. Maybe it came from the website. Maybe it was a referral. Maybe it was from a partner. And if it was a referral or a partner, then we might want to add a free text field, which is which partner. And we would always make that searchable, or it could be a referral from whom. And then a free text field, people and organizations, make that searchable. And then if we go back to Joe and we wanted to add some of this information in, we click on edit and we go to custom fields and we can see that we now have a choice here. So we wouldn't want to do industry for a person, but we might want to say, yes, Joe's the main contact, and yes, Joe is the business owner, and Joe came from a referral, and the referral was from Bob Brown. And we click on return, and we would save that information. If we go to JB Limited, then we would click on edit, we'd go to custom fields industry, and we would say that JB Limited is in the consulting area. And we would add the tag also onto there of prospects, etc. Because sometimes we would work with an organization and there might be multiple people within the organization. Some of them might be actually clients and some of them might be potential clients. So, but the organization would be a client and a potential client. So all powerful ways there of gathering information and enabling us to look after our contacts in the way that we recognize and know is a good way to look after them because we know who our ideal client is, we know how they want to be communicated with, we know what information to capture about them to give them a really great service and a great experience with working with us. So that is the data bank. And when we start to get some information in, we can see that we can start to drill down into some different filters and really make some really good lists. On the growth plan, we have in company enrichment and contacts enrichment as well. And what it means is that Capsule goes out to the universe, finds information about an organization, and we can search on it. So we could perhaps find all the organizations on our CRM that have an estimated revenue of between 1 and 10 million, if that's what our ideal client was. Or we could find organizations on our system that have a certain number of employees. And Capsule goes out to the universe, finds information that's in the public domain, and brings that into the system for us. It doesn't store it on the system, it just enables us to search on it. And if you look at an actual organization, then you can see the information that's been recognized that is about that organization actually on the record. So, all really, really good stuff. We also want to integrate our email, and when we do that, we can store emails onto Capsule. We can click on log activity and we can make notes on the growth plan. We can add our own activity types in there as well. So we might add in walking meeting or kickoff meeting, and we would be able to add notes in there, and then we would be able to report on those activities, and we'd be able to create goals on those activities as well. We can also add ad hoc tasks, and as we said, we can also add a track, which is a series of tasks to prompt us to stay in touch with people. So we've had a look at the data bank in Capsule. And hopefully, you've seen how easy it is to actually make Capsule our own, really make it into a system that supports our business. And the really important way of doing that is to understand who our ideal client is, understand who we're working with, and have some tags, data tags, and custom fields to help us support those people and organizations in the best way possible. So tags very much to be used for recognizing and identifying where an organization or a person is on the customer journey. And data tags gives that extra level of sophistication to capture information that's really relevant at that time. So I think prospect all the way through to previous client, but think about also your partners, your suppliers, and then think about custom fields for more static types of information. Keep the number of tags and data tags as low as possible. Use custom fields more freely. Often I see people are using tags instead of custom fields, and it makes it really difficult to search on that data and dice and slice that data. So do use custom fields for the more static type of information. So we maybe legal entity, industry, what that person's role is, etc. And have a think about the task categories, the tracks, and the activity types. Make sure you integrate your email. It's a game changer. And think about what email templates you like to have in the system as well. But also think about the integrations because no system is a silo anymore. They all integrate with other systems and they makes them even more powerful. So I hope you have found this video useful. Do check out my other videos on how to create the pipeline and the projects area. And do let me know if you have any questions about this video or any of the other videos that are on my channel. You can always contact me on julia.blake@blakeconsultants.co.uk. But thank you very much for watching.